Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom-picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com/thebarn. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thebarn.
Hello, my name is Jason Lowry.
And I'm Mark Toti.
And this is the Parkland Podcast.
And a special good day to you. Thanks for tuning in once again this week to our podcast. We continue to get great feedback from our viewers, and it is so appreciated.
We love each and every one of you. Coming up on this week's show, we'll get the latest on Governor Mike Parson's vetoes to the state budget. Lead testing is underway in the city of Farmington, and lots of road work this week on Highway 67. Plus, we'll talk to St. Francis County Sheriff candidate Tim Harris. That'll wrap up our coverage of that particular race. And Farmington Regional Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Candy Henti will be our guest. All this and more coming up on the Parkland Podcast. And of course, this podcast would not be possible without our great sponsors, Parkland Pharmacy. They're in Deloge, Farmington, Fredericktown, Greenville, and Piedmont. Nicholson Heating and Air. Call Nicholson.com. Our subways of the Parkland. We have Farmington in the Maple Valley Center. We have downtown Park Hills. And we have the Deloge Walmart Supercenter. Discover Farmington. You can find them out at discoverfarmingtonmo.com. And Splish Splashin' in the Farmington Water Park and Splash Pad, all our sponsors for this show.
Of course, we're also coming off a big 4th of July holiday. I don't know about you, Jason. I had a great time. I went to a birthday party on Thursday morning for Julie Powers.
Yeah, it's just morning birthday parties?
It was a morning one, yeah. It started at like 9:15. We played the coolest game. She had slips of papers with somebody's name on them, famous people.
Okay.
Like I was Albert Einstein.
Okay.
But you pick a name out, you don't look at it, she pins it on your back, and then you go around and ask everybody else in the room questions about your person, and you try to deduce who you are by the questions, and they can only be answered with yes or no answers.
Okay.
And like I said, mine was Albert Einstein, which I didn't know at the time, and I went up to a girl and I said, well, here's a question I've been asking women for years now. Am I a man? I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer to that, but she said, yes, you are. And I'm like, woo, am I living? And then you just kind of narrow it down from there.
Yeah, okay.
And I finally, after about 20 minutes, got to Albert Einstein. It was a lot of fun.
Who were some of the other celebrities that were used?
Everybody from Lady Gaga to, I'm trying to think now of who some of the other ones were. There were a few I had never heard of.
Right, yeah.
But there were others that dated back 300-400 years ago. Folks that were still living. Beyonce was one.
Yes, she's still alive.
Yes, she's
as
still
of
alive.
record time.
And after that, I went over to Dave and Lisa Shaver's house. They are the folks that own Cater Me LLC, and they did something really nice. They had a barbecue, and I was invited, which was really nice.
Would you have been disappointed? They own a catering company, and you show up at their parties like, sorry, no food, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're not eating.
You're on
today.
your own.
But they also took donations. It was all free. But they took donations, and all the donations went to help veterans. Which I thought was really cool.
For 4th of July, yeah.
So, yeah, I want to say hi to Dave and Lisa, and I hope you guys have a great day. If you're ever anywhere where there's a Cater Me LLC truck or van, park it, get some food. You won't be disappointed.
Okay, good to know.
Hey, I do want to send a quick shout out to Steve and Ursula Warren. I saw Ursula at the senior center last week, and she went overboard praising us for the sheriff's interview. She goes, I have learned a lot of things I didn't know about.
Great.
And I'm really gaining some insight into this campaign, and now I got to figure out who I want to vote for because she's hearing good things about all the candidates.
And I encourage you to watch this interview coming up with Tim Harris. Hopefully you've watched the others with Jeff Kreitz, Jason Crump, and Dan Bullock. And we're going to put a poll on our Facebook page soon asking who you would vote for in this race. So it'll be very interesting. Our 4th of July, we spent at the Whaley's house on Harry Jr. Street in Deloge. We started off, I guess, about 4 o'clock. We had a nice early, chill out, nice day. And then we barbecued. We had lots of fireworks from Jerry's Fireworks. Got to get that out there real quick. And we just had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Family, friends, all doing family-friendly stuff.
Yeah, and I did all that. I didn't even stay up for the fireworks. I hate to admit it. I fell asleep around 8:30.
Yeah.
Woke up around 9:30 listening to the fireworks.
Yes.
And then again at 11:30 when there were more fireworks. And then around 1 o'clock where there was a few fireworks and the thunder and lightning started.
Yes. Had some thunderstorms roll through right after the 4th of July. So it put out any random fires that were about. Let's see. So we talked about our polls on Facebook. Again, those are coming. Next week's episode is going to be gigantic. It's probably going to be like 16 hours because we're having our Super Candidate Extravaganza Parkland podcast. And we're doing this in conjunction with the Deloge Chamber of Commerce Pancakes with the Candidates event, which is happening on Friday, July the 12th. And what we're going to do is we're going to interview every politician who is there in a contested race in the state of Missouri, and we're going to spend 5 good minutes with each of these candidates and get that information out to you. So next week's podcast is going to be chock full of interviews. That's going to take over our news segment as well. We'll still have our events. We'll still have our birthdays, but the rest of it's going to be pretty much political interviews, I think, Mark.
Well, it's that time of year for sure.
It is, and we want to make sure that we get everybody ready for the August 6th primary. Plans are to do a Facebook Live on our Facebook page, but I learned something this week, Mark. You have to have 100 followers, which we have well more than, and you have to be around for at least 60 days. So the 60th day in history of the Parkland Podcast Facebook page is August 6th. So I think we're okay. If not, I'm sure Chad will let us use the Barnes Facebook page to Facebook Live on because he's got the followers and the time. And we'll just put some links on our Facebook page explaining what's happening. But I think it's going to work.
And by the way, speaking of the barn, I continue to get compliments on the barn. People want to come see the barn. They want to tour the barn. It's a fabulous location, Chad. Thank you so much for letting us use it.
Yes, and they got some new microphones. They had an event at Four Towns in downtown Park Hills recently, and some of the other podcasters on the network worked for tips that night, and they got the tips and were able to get some really nice mics and headphones. So
good deal.
Way to go. Keep it up, The Barn, and check out all the great podcasts available on the Barn Network. Totally awesome radio story, maybe not involving radio this week.
Not really this one because it just happened to me this past Saturday. I was at my church, St. Paul Lutheran Church. We do a contemporary service at 4:45, and I like to get the little kids help out. Mm-hmm. They can go light the candles, take the offering, ring the bell, and then put out the candles at the end of church. So there's just a wonderful young lady named Shayla that was helping me out this past Saturday, and she was going to have to do all of this by herself. And I said, hey, there's another young lady over there. Do you want to ask her if she would want to help you? And she goes, well, I didn't even think about doing that. Okay, I'll go talk to her right now. And she went over and talked to her and came back over by me. And she says, I said, did you talk to her? And she goes, yeah, I didn't even think about asking her. That was a good idea. And I said, well, I'm not as dumb as I look, you know. And she kind of smiled, and without thinking, she goes, I don't think you look that dumb. I said, thank you very much. Artlink let her kids say the darndest thing.
Hey, you were Albert Einstein just a couple of days ago, so.
Yeah, I get mentioned in the same sentence with Albert Einstein a lot. They say, hey, look, it's Mark Toti. He's no Albert Einstein. Boom, boom.
Nicholson Heating and Air are fast, reliable, and transparent. You can call and schedule heating or air service anytime, anywhere online at callnicholson.com. And ask about the Premier Club. All Premier Club members enjoy annual heating and AC inspection, priority 24/7 emergency heating and air service, VIP priority services and repairs from dedicated service technicians, and an automatic $50 discount on any holiday service. Nicholson Heating and Air, the website, callnicholson.com.
Just want to say thank you to Dylan and his crew. Not only do they do great work, they are wonderful people, always getting involved in the community, and the guy's just a joy to be around.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, everybody at Nicholson Heating and Air. Parkland Pharmacy, local pharmacy at its finest. They're in Deloge, Farmington, Fredericktown, Ironton, Piedmont, and Greenville. They are truly a locally owned pharmacy, and customer service is always their top priority. Check out the new line of skinny syrups. They are available. I keep telling the kids, keep asking me, can we open the caramel one? And I'm like, I might have to give that away. I don't know. I think we're just going to try it. That way I can speak more freely about it.
Well, sure. You got to know what you're talking about.
That's true. Yes. It's all about, adding that personal touch to things.
Absolutely.
But Parkland Pharmacy adds that personal touch to everything they do.
I love working at the, I don't work at the Farmington location, but that's
They'd
where I
probably
go.
put you to work if you wanted to.
They probably would.
Yeah.
They do something else besides just do a great job with your prescriptions. Good day to you. I keep wanting to say good morning. 40 years in radio.
I know, right?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to say a special shout out to Julie Berghaus, the pharmacist at Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy. But I also want to say hey to Judy Boring. She
Oh, man.
She's
Judy's
wonderful.
one of the best people ever.
She helps you like with your Medicare plans. If you want to get a Medicare Advantage plan, she will take you into her office. And I know she works at the other pharmacies doing this as well. But she will make sure you get the right Medicare Advantage plan for you. She'll go over all the options, the pricing, and different things like that. Just a great personal touch that they bring at Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy.
Parkland Pharmacy. Check them out today.
Imagine a home where every season feels just right. At Nicholson Heating and Air in Farmington, we turn that dream into your everyday reality. From frosty winters to sizzling summers, our expert team ensures your home stays perfect. Plus, with our easy financing options, comfort is more affordable than ever. Don't wait. Visit callnicholson.com or stop by our Farmington location today. Nicholson Heating and Air, where your comfort is our command.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long, or pretzel, and probably not a churro. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. Then we said, but we already made them, and they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
News time on the Parkland Podcast. Local news is presented by Nicholson Heating and Air. Fast, reliable, and transparent. That's the Nicholson way. Schedule anytime, anywhere online at callnicholson.com, 573-756-3599. Missouri Governor Mike Parsons has cut over $1 billion in the $50.5 billion Missouri state budget. Cuts include $10 million to the Close the Gap K-12 education program. $6 million was cut in U.S.-Mexico border security funds, and additional funding for a Lambert Airport terminal, and a rate increase for developmental disabilities day habitation care providers was also axed. Parson is also mulling over several bills that will either be signed into law or left for the next session. Legislation not signed into law yet includes the Senior Citizen Property Tax Relief Bill. opening the 340B pharmaceutical discounts for low-income families legislation, and a crime package that makes it a criminal offense to shoot into the air in celebration. Sorry, Yosemite Sam. Court system update. Things are back to normal after a nationwide system failure caused the system that handles state courts to fail last week. We lost CaseNet for a couple of days, which I know a lot of people really like to put themselves in there just to check out and make sure, that they're on good standings. And so now that system has been put back together. Nothing lost. Everything is good to go with our local court system.
In addition, the EPA has sent out notices to area residents dealing with mine testing, soil testing. I know because I got one of those letters from the EPA, and basically what they are going to do is take spoon-sized samples of your lawn if you give them permission to do so. And if it comes back with over 400 parts per million of lead testing, they are going to replace that section of your lawn. They'll dig it out, send it off, and replace it all at no charge to you. They sent out 300 to 400 letters, not just in the Farmington area, but throughout St. Francis County. They're also doing some work in Madison and Washington counties as well that I know of. Southbound Highway 67 in St. Francis County is reduced for guardrail repairs pretty much all throughout this week. The section that they're looking at is north of the fairgrounds, and work will continue again through the end of the week. And congratulations to the Old Village Mercantile. They are celebrating 115 years in business in Caledonia. And one other note to pass along, good news out of Mineral Area College, helping out in the community. MAC is partnering with the St. Louis Area Food Bank to host a monthly drive-through food access resource market. You can pick up the free food the second Tuesday of every month. It starts this month. No ID is required.
That's a check of dues, sponsored by Nicholson Heating and Air. Call Nicholson.com. Birthdays, anniversaries are brought to you by Nicholson Heating and Air. Fast, reliable, transparent. That's the Nicholson way. Schedule anytime, anywhere, online at callnicholson.com. Who do you have birthdays, Mark Toti, for Monday, July the 8th?
For Monday, one of the pride and joys of the Farmington Civic Center, Allie Savage celebrates a birthday. I know when I quit working at radio, her and her sister Elizabeth were very sad about the fact that I couldn't wish them a happy birthday on the radio anymore, but even better, you're getting it on the podcast now. So, Allie, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you. Eric Herzog celebrates a birthday today, and I know you know Eric. He is married to Mandy Herzog, who is really quite active in the Deloge Chamber of Commerce. Donna Freer, Donna. Happy birthday to you. She got married this summer. Happy birthday to you, Donna. Jackie Gegg Godwin, celebrating a birthday on Monday. And our good buddy, Schuyler Seymour, celebrates a birthday.
A true Farmington legend.
Almost as legendary as his dad.
I'm going to hear about that at the ball game Thursday night. Also, happy birthday today, or Monday, July 8th, to Gail Agers, retired teacher at North County High School, and future teacher Brianna Whaley with a birthday on Monday. What do you have for Tuesday, July the 9th?
Really only one birthday for Tuesday, but she's a dandy. Becky Thompson celebrates a birthday on Tuesday. Been in the banking industry for a long time now, yet she still looks 27 years old. I don't know how she does it, but she's managed to pull it off. Becky, happy birthday wishes to you from all your friends at the Farmington Chamber.
Excellent. How about Wednesday, July 10th?
Wednesday, July 10th, Leslie Fishbeck celebrates a birthday on Wednesday. She's also somebody who loved to listen in on the radio when I announced her birthday because she was eternally 29 as well. Never mind her kids that are in their 20s as well. Happy birthday to you, Leslie. And Candace Smith celebrating a birthday. And I know you know her husband, Smitty, longtime basketball referee and baseball referee, football referee in the area.
Jace Odell, KFMO B104. Jace is the youngest of Chuck and Shelly's boys, and he's a dad now.
And he was a co-host of Bids for Bargains with me a couple of times.
That's right. I think me, you, and him are like the only people other than Kirk Mooney who have hosted a session of Bids for Bargains.
Yeah, Jace got much more effective at doing Bids for Bargains once his voice started to crack and puberty set in. Sorry, Jace.
Jace was a great former student as well. I don't know if I could have made it through my first year of teaching without you. Happy birthday, buddy. Looks like life's treating you well. Emily Plyer, North County Middle School band teacher, celebrating a birthday today. Those band teachers, especially at the lower levels, I feel for them.
I bet, much like teachers, just regular teachers of younger kids, they could probably tell some stories too.
Oh, I bet. Absolutely. How about Thursday, July 11th? Who do you know that has a birthday that day?
I just have one for that day as well, but it's a young lady that I've known for a long time, Leslie Asher. Happy birthday wishes to you. I see her every now and then. She's got a working out group that she hangs out with, but I saw her about a week ago, and she hasn't been there in a while. She's walking outside, which a lot of us are these days when the weather's so nice.
Happy birthday, Clay Copeland, St. Francis County Road and Bridge Director, baby boomer guy. Did a lot of plays at Mineral Area College back in the day, too.
Been on the radio a lot over the years at all the different media stations. Very good guy.
I love Clay. Happy birthday to you, buddy. Friday, July 12th, what do you have?
Friday birthdays, Mark Wells. This is the brother of Alan Wells.
Okay.
And I am not sure if he is Alan's younger or older brother.
I know what he'll say.
Yeah, I know what he'll say. And since I always declare Alan to be older than dirt, I'm going to go with Mark being the much, much younger looking brother, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. Steve Woolridge. Happy birthday to you. That's from your wife, who just retired about a year ago from the St. Francis County Courthouse, your daughters, and your son. We hope you have a great day today and all week. And my buddy Nathan Tripp. I haven't seen Nathan in several years, but I've known Nathan since late 1980s.
Okay.
Which means Nathan is no longer a young man.
Right. Happy birthday, Friday, July 12th. Aaron Cox.
Good guy.
Aaron Cox was a BKTV legend. There was all this hype around him when he came out of high school. Worked at both KFMO, B104, and he worked for Froggy a lot. Did he ever work at the Boot?
We talked about him working there, but it never came to be. But now that the engineer at the station, Kevin Brooks, has semi-retired, he's working for Aaron.
Yes, he is. And those two are like doing all kinds of fun adventures.
And getting paid well for it.
Yes, they are. Aaron, big wig with Emmis and some other radio groups, goes all over the country doing tower stuff. Happy birthday, Aaron. Hope it's a great day for you, buddy. Saturday, July 13th.
Saturday, Christy Penno has a birthday today. Went to St. Paul Lutheran Church for a number of years. And a gal that we both know and love, Donna Hickman, celebrating a birthday on Saturday.
Donna, one of the sweetest people you will ever meet. Thank you, Donna. You're awesome. Sunday, July 14th.
Sunday birthdays include Pastor Ron Beaton. He just left the Methodist Church after 4 or 5 years there. He's moved to a church in St. Louis. Happy birthday wishes to you, Pastor, from your wife and your kids. Happy birthday to Macy Kreitler. We hope you have a wonderful day today. She's a Danley girl. Happy birthday wishes going out to Chad Browers. He's a car salesman in the area. Sold me a car about 25 years ago. And Nathan Pogue. Nathan Pogue. I have a picture somewhere at my house of Nathan and I riding on an elephant when Nathan was about 1 year old. Nathan was in Kansas City about 20 years ago. He was eating at a restaurant, and his mom told me that he was telling people that he was Mark Toti, a world-famous radio announcer from Farmington, Missouri. Actually had a couple people in Kansas City ask him for his autograph.
Wow, very cool. So those are your birthdays. Oh, and happy birthday Sunday to my Aunt Cindy Redeker.
Yes.
Happy birthday to her. Elephant riding, real quick. I wanted to ask you about that because I've got to ride an elephant, too. It was like one of those things where a circus would come to town and they'd reach out to the radio people? Is that one of those deals? Is that how it worked?
No, that'll be a totally awesome radio story for another time. But that was at the Azalea Festival. In fact, if you remind me, that'll be the totally awesome radio story for next year.
Oh, very good. Because Jonas and I got to ride an elephant with one of the circuses that came through. I guess the Rotary Club had something to do with it.
It's a lot of fun.
It is. You feel like you're on a dinosaur. I mean, just the way that thing moves and goes around. I don't know. I thought it was a neat experience. But anyway, those are your birthdays. That has nothing to do with birthdays. But those are your birthdays and your anniversaries. Brought to you by Nicholson Heating and Air. Fast, reliable, transparent. That's the Nicholson way. Time to check out events in the area. They are presented by Discover Farmington, more than you ever imagined. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com allows you to find out more about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. Find out about local events and even book a wedding or a day trip. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com proudly presents Blues, Brews, and Barbecues on September 20th and 21st.
One of my favorite events of the year is Blues, Brews, and Barbecue. And we'll have Paul Grindstaff on the podcast with us to tell us more about that as we get closer to the event. We do want to remind you about the Iron County Fair that is this month. This is county fair season.
Yes.
Iron County Fair, July 11th through the 14th.
St. Genevieve County Fair, July 12th through the 14th. And we know the theme this year. What is it?
Barn in the USA.
Bah.
There you go.
Or moo.
Hey, Nacho Average Couples Night Out. It's a fundraiser for the United Way of St. Francis County. It'll be held at Mineral Area College in the new technology center that they have. And you can call the United Way office if you'd like to reserve a table for that. Going to be a great time. I'll be there.
You're emceeing, right?
Yeah, more or less.
So tell me a little bit more about it. I'm curious. Is it just like date night, eat, talk, or are there games, activities? What's on the agenda?
Going to be some games, some activities, but it's more about just a night of relaxing and having fun with friends and neighbors.
If you need some place to drop the kids off that night, well, you probably need to go with them. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids showing at Long Park in Farmington Friday night. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which, by the way, we watched a year or so ago, still holds up.
Yeah, I've never seen it in its entirety because you have the young kids.
Yes.
Minor Tough Weekend. You want to get in shape? Bicycle ride or run takes place St. Joe State Park, July 13th and 14th.
July 14th is your last day to register for youth soccer at the Farmington Civic Center. So if you want your kids to play soccer this fall, you need to get that registration in by July the 14th.
One of my favorite causes to support is the Casa House, which has an office on A Street in Farmington. By the way, quick plug to St. Paul Lutheran Church in Farmington. They recently donated over $800 in cash along with a couple of $100 in supplies to the Casa House. But they are putting on a murder mystery dinner on July 20th at the Iron Knot in Bonne Terre. If you have questions or if you'd like to get a table, you can call Joanna Watts or you can reach out to her by stopping by the Casa House on A Street in Farmington by the Public Library.
KFMO B1049 at the Farmington Water Park is going to happen on July the 23rd from 6:30 to 8:30 that evening. You make a donation to the St. Francis County Backstoppers, and then you get to hang out at the water park for 2 hours. It's a great deal, and that's July 23rd.
Chautauqua is coming up toward the end of the month, July 25th through the 27th. Dwight Eisenhower, Winston Churchill, and somebody we now know something about, Jackie Cochran, will be speaking.
I Googled her. She was a famous pilot. Apparently, she was better than Amelia Earhart, but because Amelia Earhart, has the mystery and everything around her, she became more popular. But Jackie Cochran, the first woman to break the sound barrier.
That's not the only things coming up, though.
Oh, man, the Baby Boomer show. I know you clipped a picture of the line for advanced Baby Boomer tickets this past week. The show is happening on Friday night, August the 2nd, and then Saturday, August the 3rd for a matinee at 1. and a 7 o'clock show as well.
Have they chosen the theme?
It's going to be, I think it's We Are Family, and every song either is about family or people in the band were family members. So there's a lot of really, really good options for songs.
If you're not tired of all the fairs, there's yet another one coming up in August. It's August 7th through the 10th, the Washington County Fair.
And then you have Jour de Fête happening in St. Genevieve, August 10th and 11th. And I want to throw out a couple more Red Cross blood drives on Friday. New Heights Church in Fredericktown has a blood drive from 11 to 4. Monday, St. Joseph's in Farmington with a blood drive from 10 to 2. And St. Michael's in Fredericktown on Wednesday has a blood drive from 1 to 5.
Always a good thing when you can help save lives.
That is our events page. It's presented by Discover Farmington. More than you ever imagined. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com allows you to find out more about entertainment, dining, outdoor activities, wineries, and more. DiscoverFarmingtonMo.com proudly presents Blues, Brews, and Barbecues on September 20th and the 21st. I want to talk about Subway of the Parkland. Subway, you eat fresh, and we love the Subway locations at the Deloge Walmart Supercenter, downtown Park Hills, but your favorite is the Farmington Maple Valley Subway, and you go there every week.
In fact, as soon as we're done recording, that's where I'm going. Miss Heather, Jessica, Brianna, Courtney, you all are wonderful people. They know what each customer wants. They can give lessons in customer service, but if you want to try something new, they know that menu inside and out. I got a wrap last week, chicken and cheese. It was one of the best things I've ever gotten there. Come this fall, they'll have soups available there. They've got pretzels. They've got salads. Mike and Jake, you guys have a great business there. You all are fantastic. I saw Jake at the St. Joe Parish picnic. He says he loves the commercials, by the way. And
great.
We love Subway.
Absolutely. Subway of the Parkland in Farmington in the Maple Valley Center, Park Hills in downtown, and the Subway in the Deloge Walmart. Check out the dippers, cheese, chicken, or pepperoni for just $3. Subway. Eat fresh. And I want to take a minute to talk about the Farmington Water Park and Splash Pad. Mark, you probably know this because you're in the know, but I don't think a lot of people do. The Splash Pad is open every day from 9 to 10:30, totally free to the public.
It absolutely is. You'll see a lot of moms with the young babies that will go there because it's a lot easier for the little kids to get into the splash pad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then you go, you wear them out, about 10:30, 11 o'clock starts getting hot. You go home, you take a nap, and your nap time is expanded because of your kids enjoying the splash pad. Now, the pad's also open every day with the Farmington Water Park, and their hours are 11 to 6 Monday through Sunday. And then there's also available parties and events happening in the evening. $8.50 is the admission to get into the Farmington Water Park. Kids 2 and under are free. It's $7.50 for kids 11 to 3 years old. And if you're 62 or older, you get tickets for just $7.50.
And if I remember correctly, the water park is either at or approaching 20 years old now, which is just hard for me to imagine. But one thing I know for sure, whether it was 20 years ago or this year, kids never get tired of standing underneath that big bucket and letting it dump water on top of their heads.
Oh, yeah. It is so much fun. Check it out. Enjoy your summer. Farmington Water Park and Splash Pad.
Farmington, Missouri, your destination for a perfect weekend getaway. Dine in at one of our quality restaurants or visit one of our surrounding wineries. Farmington offers a variety of parks and other recreational leisure time activities. See some sights, have some fun, and go wherever your heart takes you. Sounds like a lot of fun, so get a room and stay a while. All this and more awaits you just 60 miles south of St. Louis. Discover Farmington today.
Parkland Pharmacy is out to prove that local independent pharmacy is alive and well. We work hard at giving you an excellent experience every time you come to see us. We love what we do, and we would love to take care of you. There's no need to be frustrated with your health care. If you're tired of what your pharmacy is not doing for you, then stop waiting in line and come see us today. We have 6 locations across southeast Missouri, so Google us to find the store nearest you or visit parklandrx.com. Parkland Pharmacy is a local pharmacy at its finest.
Back at the Parkland podcast, we continue to cover the St. Francis County Sheriff's race for the August primary 2024. And joining us here again from the St. Francis County Jail, we have Sergeant Tim Harris with the St. Francis County Sheriff's Department. Thanks so much for giving us the time to speak with us and get your word out.
I appreciate it, Mark and Jason. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, we'll start off like we have with the other candidates. What made you decide now's the time to run for sheriff?
So last year I was kind of in a holding pattern after the other guys announced that they were running. I had a planned date to talk to the sheriff about when I was going to run. He actually approached me around June, the middle of June last year, and asked me what my plans were. I told him, I'm just going to wait. We're not going to jump the gun on this. I'm going to wait on y'all. Go ahead, get on out there, get running. And he said, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but you go ahead. Well, all right. So if obviously the sheriff, 4 years ago, I decided I wouldn't run or I told you I wouldn't run if you ran. But if you're telling me to get out there and I put my name out there, I'm not backing out this time. So he understood, and here we go. I waited till September to make an official announcement, and boy, it was like a really tightly wound rubber band. I just couldn't wait to come out. So, obviously, being here for 24 years, I know our worth. And I've seen really bad times here, and I've seen good times. I want us to continue in those good times and keep moving forward and keep progressing and be. I want everybody to look at us as the model agency in this area, and I want them to say, man, those guys really have it together. We've built that. We've 3 years as patrol sergeant, I feel like we have transformed the face of our patrol division to where people actually look at us. They want us on those calls. They need us. We're more respected amongst our municipal agencies and other outside sheriff's departments now than ever before. So just want to keep pushing forward.
You mentioned 24 years here. Walk us through your whole law enforcement body of work. Again, a lot of experience to fall back on.
Sure. So I went to the academy in '99. It was the first night academy. There's 3 of us left in law enforcement. Dan hired me in February of 2000. I started here, started in the jail, making $8.50 an hour, somewhere around $18,000 a year. I probably more than I'd ever made at that time, honestly.
It went a lot further back then.
It did, but, back then you had to buy your own uniform, your own gun, your own duty belt. So jumped into this job, worked in the jail for 3 years, in about the end of 2003, I believe. Came out onto patrol and did that for 3.5 years. Basically, the canine handler that we had at the time left, went to the railroad, and I was gifted this amazing dog, Bruno, and went to canine school with him in Indiana and came back and just lit this place on fire. I mean, he was so good, and he just made me look that much better. I'm the dummy at the end of the line, and he's doing all the work, but did that until 2014. He passed in 2014, and then about a month later, they promoted me to detective. That was basically going to be a narcotics position, and that's exactly what it turned into. So, I think my first day as detective, I made my first big case, and the second day, I made another big case, which spiraled into something greater. The DEA, seeing that, decided that they wanted to bring me up to St. Louis instead of just working hotels and motels down here. Went up to St. Louis, and I stayed there until 2021. Obviously, I was going to run for sheriff. Made all these plans, and during that, my boss looks at me at the DEA. He says, "Hey," he said, "we may be violating the Hatch Act for you running." I said, "Well, I'm not a federal agent." He said, "Well, you are. You're considered a federal agent. You have the same powers." And he said, "We need to go talk to division lawyer, division counsel." So we talked to them. They said, you either need to withdraw or find somebody to take your spot. talked to the sheriff. I began to train, another deputy to go up there and take my spot. And about the time Dan came to me one evening and he thought that I knew that he had decided to run. I had all these plans in place, spent my own money getting out there. And he looked at me and he made a comment about him running. And I stopped and looked at him. What? And he said, "Oh, well, I thought you knew." And I saw that man for the first time ever. He kind of welled up a little bit, had some tears in his eyes. And of course, they didn't fall. He's an oak, but he looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry." He goes, "I thought you knew I'm going to run." And I told him. I came into his office after he told me that. He kind of walked away a little bit. I walked into his office. I said, "Well, Sheriff, I hate it, but I told you if you ran, I wouldn't run against you." And I said, "I'll honor that and I'll back out." So that's where we were. I took over right after he won the election. So March of 21, I took over as the patrol sergeant, and Lieutenant Ryan took over as the lieutenant. And we both came out of the detective bureau. So we had plenty of experience behind us, some leadership skills came out, and just already had in mind what we wanted to do here on patrol to make it better. And we've excelled and exceeded every goal that we had.
Tim, you've obviously gone through a lot professionally in your 24 years. You've had to overcome a lot personally just to get to where you're at today.
Sure. My personal life, I've, for the most part, tried to keep personal. Things get out there. 2010, my brother passed away from sarcoma-related cancer. And then just before he passed, we actually had a Make-A-Wish with my son Tyler, who had leukemia. They had cancer at the same time. So he passed in 2010, and then 2013, the end of actually 2012, my son had it was New Year's Eve night. I got home from work and he just looked at me or he actually texted me to come to my room. And I went up there, my wife was already in there, and I start talking to him. I sit on the bed beside him. He's literally sitting right there, and I knew that he wasn't feeling good. I'd been home during the day, gave him some energy drinks or sports drinks, sorry. And I'd called children, said, "Hey, he's not feeling good. He's a cancer patient. What can we do?" "No, you just stay where you're at. You guys just stay there. There's no sense bringing him up. He doesn't have a fever." So we hung out, and then as he was talking to me that evening, he lost the ability to speak. He just started slurring his words, and then he just went down into my
It's not easy to talk about.
No. That doesn't get any easier. He went down in my arms, and I remember telling my wife to call 911. Dispatcher got on the line, and obviously I'd just gotten off duty, and it was a voice that I was familiar with. I said, "Hey, you need to give me an ambulance now." And they started the ambulance, and said, "I'm living down in Libertyville. I can't wait for an ambulance to get here from Farmington." So I scooped him up and ran out the door, put him in my patrol car, and man, it was sleeting that night. It was slick, and I just hollered to dispatch, say, "Hey, you call the hospital and tell them I'm coming in as fast as I can get there." Running code, pull up in the ER, and it was something like out of a movie scene. They come wheeling a gurney out, three nurses, a doctor. We grab him out of my car, and I put him on there. And that night, I don't know who called Captain Armstrong, but I remember they were doing test after test after test. They said, "I don't know what's going on here, but he has at least 8 infections, and it's not good." And I remember the curtain kind of closing, and I'd gotten into a war of words with Children's Hospital. Said, "If you can get somebody down here now." And they finally sent an ambulance down there to pick him up and take him north. And while they were getting him prepped, he actually passed away. I remember the curtain kind of coming open when a doctor ran in, didn't know what was going on, and I see them on top of my son doing chest compressions. And about that time, I just feel this hand on my shoulder. I turn around, it's Captain Armstrong, and you're standing there out of nowhere. It's like, I came to check on you. You know, man, you think about the things that I've been through and the people that have been here with me and for me. Man, I've been offered money to leave here. I've been offered different jobs, and I can't. I mean, I've been offered $100,000 job, a year job in Annapolis, working for SGI, and I turned it down to make way less money to stay here because this is home to me. This is the people, my family standing behind me, putting their hand on my shoulder and holding me up while this is going on. The citizens getting together when he's in the hospital for 3 months and holding fundraiser after fundraiser after fundraiser just to keep us afloat while we're there is something I will absolutely never forget. He passed in 2013. Actually, I was doing some door knocking yesterday, and a citizen said, I was living right here in Farmington when you guys came through with his procession. She said, I've never seen anything like that for a kid. Huge, as big, fire trucks, ambulances, police cars, flags. He was 12 when he passed. In his 12 years, the impact that he made on people it's unforgettable. I hear about it today over and over again. Classmates that he went to school with back then that for all intents and purposes, probably should have forgot him. They've moved on with their lives. They're married. They have kids. They don't forget. So 2013 happened, 2014, almost to the day, my dog passed, my best friend. And that was just digging in that nail again.
Sure.
2016, I started having some medical problems, and my wife's a nurse, so I'm talking to her about it. The hospital kind of bounced us from specialist to specialist, then wound up getting a CT ordered by a doctor over at St. Francis, and he say, go get the CT done. And I got it done. No sooner I get home, I'm outside cleaning my grill. I remember cleaning my grill. My kids are inside. My wife's, she's supposed to be working. She called. She said, hey, I'm headed home. We got to go to the hospital. I said, okay, what's going on? She goes, well, you've got cancer. I said, okay, it's just one of them things. And my brother died of it. My son died of it. My dad had an acute form of it, an adult form of it. And, here I am, my turn in the box now. So, that spiraled into a whole lot of weight, a whole lot of, I don't know what's going to happen next. I had come to find out I had a football-sized tumor in my guts. I was taking my family on vacation right after I finished radiation, and the doctor called and said, hey, your tumor busted. And I said, do what? Yeah, your tumor busted and it's not good. He said, we've got you scheduled next week for we're going to go in and see the damage, see how bad it spilled out. Well, one thing I learned, when you've got cancer, don't get on and start researching online. That's just the worst thing you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But be that guy sitting in the balcony when your family's down on the beach and thinking to yourself, okay, what do I do? Well, my dummy self picked up my phone. I Googled it. Mm-hmm. Cancer spills, cancer cells spill out of tumor. And it was definitely, no one lives longer than 2 years. You're going to die. Made it back from vacation. My wife and I went down to see our radiologist, and he came in, and really cool guy, nice guy. He just starts crying. You look at a doctor and they're crying, you've done something, He said, I'm sorry, you're going to die. And I said, well, okay, I turned white as a sheet. Don't want to break down in front of my wife. We've already lost my brother, already lost a son. And said, I'm just going to hold it together. But we made it out to the car, and both of us kind of lost it together. I started praying real hard. She doesn't take no for an answer. She doesn't take a final answer immediately. Good grief. I've been married to her. She's pretty hard-headed. She reached out to MD Anderson, sent them all my paperwork, and they said, well, come on down. They developed a plan of attack for this, sent us back up here. We did some herbal remedies, and as well as this chemotherapy treatments that they had. And then by the end of 2016, I had surgery down there. When they removed that tumor, they sent us the results, I think, before my first visit in January, and said that tumor was greater than 99% dead. They can't say 100% because no one in the medical field can evidently say 100%, but they said greater than 99% dead, and it died from the inside out. Cancer, when you attack it, dies from the inside or the outside in. So, man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of grace with that. There's a lot of God conversations to be had there, because I did a lot of praying. I felt him answer me one night in a restless night, and I could not get any peace about what was happening and what was going to happen. I just reached out. I basically just buried my face and just prayed for a miracle. And man, I don't tell a lot of people this story, but about 1:30 in the morning, I was in my chair because I just camped in a chair. It's the only thing that made me feel better. And I woke up at 1:30 in the morning to a feeling that started in my head and rolled all the way down to my toes, and just a peace and calm came over me. We went down to see my family in Louisiana shortly after that, and it was kind of a woe is me thing. Tim's got cancer. This isn't good for the family, and I just smiled and laughed the whole time. They're like, well, what's wrong with you? You've got this cancer. I said, yeah, it's going to be fine. No matter what happens, it's going to be fine. And it turned out that I survived. And that's my personal, that's my personal. There's a lot of,
That's your journey.
That's it right there. A lot of challenges that I've had to overcome personally, just to be here today, but I'm thanking God for the opportunity.
Imagine a home where every season feels just right. At Nicholson Heating and Air in Farmington, we turn that dream into your everyday reality. From frosty winters to sizzling summers, our expert team ensures your home stays perfect. Plus, with our easy financing options, comfort is more affordable than ever. Don't wait. Visit callnicholson.com or stop by our Farmington location today. Nicholson Heating and Air, where your comfort is our command.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long, or pretzel, and probably not a churro. They also said under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. Then we said, but we already made them, and they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Let's talk all things Farmington Regional Chamber of Commerce with their Executive Director, Candy Henti, joining us here on the Parkland podcast. Hello, Candy. Thanks so much, and welcome to the barn.
Hello. Wow, this is like the ultimate man cave, isn't it?
Yeah, you would think with our demographics leaning so, towards the women, maybe we need to rename it to She Shed or something like that.
I don't think it would pass on the interior for a she shed.
No.
It would take a lot of work for a she shed to come out of all this, for sure.
Great place, and it's so good to be here with you guys this morning.
Well, Candy, it's great to have you here, and I would imagine right about now, a lot of what you're doing at the Chamber involves the upcoming golf tournament.
Yes, it does. It's coming up July 26th, and it's always a great event where we usually have somewhere around 30 teams or so, 4-man scramble, which I don't know a lot about golf, but after 7 years of doing the tournament, this much I know. If you're really bad, you get somebody really good, apparently, on your 4-man scramble because you use wherever the best person shoots from or lands or whatever, that's called.
Best ball.
Best ball.
Oh, okay. I see off golf.
So people are excited. They get that one good player to help carry their team, and kind of walk us through the process. How do you sign up? How do you get geared up for this event?
So you can sign up on our website, farmingtonregionalchamber.com. You can give us a call at the office, 573-756-3615. And I think probably the highlights of our tournament are that we have tons tons of food.
Absolutely.
And adult beverages.
Absolutely.
Mark's there every year.
Yes.
And we also have fantastic raffle prizes. So our raffle prizes are valued at $200 or more. Every raffle prize. So we are getting a big screen TV. We've got a very expensive liquor package that someone can win. Bailey Joe's barbecue catered dinner for 20 people.
Oh, man.
So some really fantastic raffle prizes, and you just get those tickets, and then you get to put them in whatever you want to win. So you're not going to win something that, you really don't want.
Yeah, very cool.
And you have a list of great volunteers that help with this, too. I know you always like to give credit to your volunteers.
Yes, we do, including Mark Toti, who volunteers for everything.
I am a volunteer at the golf tournament because I cannot golf at all.
Because he really likes driving golf carts. That's why.
Oh, but I want to drive the golf cart that has the beer in it because people have never been more happy to see me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have Margarita Man out there with frozen margaritas, Emo's Pizza, Subway, Jimmy John's, Old Time Pantries providing lunch, all contained, super delicious. And then I heard we may even have some wings from Bailey Joe's coming out.
Yummy.
Boy, and if I know Jeremy, he'll have some of his new sauce that he's putting together, and maybe some of his new salad dressing.
Yes, he's on it, and he's so creative, and he's been, working in the food area for a long, long time, lots of experience, and just a all-around great guy, too.
So this happens at Crown Point, is that correct?
Yes, Crown Point Golf Course. Shotgun start at 1 o'clock. Lunch and registration starts at noon, and then we'll launch everybody at 1 o'clock.
That's not the only thing going on with the Farmington Regional Chamber of Commerce. And if you want to enter a team, just give the chamber a call or stop by the office on Washington Street. They'd be glad to talk to you. You've got a big investors meeting coming up in July.
Yes, we do. I believe it's July 18th. Third Thursday of the month, we have our luncheons. And this month, we're having Lieutenant Jeff Kreitz from the Farmington Police Department talk about tips for when you're stopped by the police. Everybody kind of thinks they know what to do.
Right, yeah.
But you get in that situation and you get a little stressed.
Yeah.
And stress kind of makes you a little forgetful sometimes, or panicky or whatever. You're thinking, what did I do wrong? Most of the time. Right. Or you might already know.
I remember one time as a teenager, I got pulled over, and I was with a friend he was from California. I don't know why I mentioned that, but just whatever. Anyways, so I go to open up the glove box to get, because I had my insurance papers were in there. Right as the cop, and my friend was like, "Oh, don't do that. He's going to think you're grabbing a gun."
Yeah.
I was like, what? I didn't even think about that. But yeah, there's stuff like that you're being completely innocent, but can definitely get you on an officer's bad side, I would assume.
Yes, and he did this presentation for one of the branches at First State Community Bank, I believe. And a lot of the people that attended said, "Oh my gosh, I learned so much. I thought I knew all this stuff, but apparently I didn't." So...
Great. So Jeff Kreitz will be this featured speaker at the July meeting. Those always happen at the Centene Center in the lobby, correct?
Yes, they do.
And how much does it cost to eat?
Lunch is $10, and I'm telling you right now, you probably can't get a $10 lunch about anywhere anymore. So $10, and I don't recall the caterer off the top of my head, but it'll always be good food.
They're always good. And again, you don't have to purchase lunch. You can just come enjoy the networking. But sounds like a great meeting, and lots of chamber items and other things will be discussed at the meeting as well.
Yes, sir.
So, Candy, when somebody joins the chamber, okay, great, I'll join. That's nice. I don't think a lot of folks totally realize all the benefits that are available through the Farmington Regional Chamber.
Yes. And, we have so many resources. And one of the things that we're an information hub. a lot of people call us.
I use your website pretty much daily when I'm prepping for the show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love hearing that.
Absolutely.
People call us and contact us and visit our website and our Facebook page and all of that a lot. And we leverage that to showcase our members and what they're doing and their businesses. One of the ways that we're doing that is our member spotlights, and I know, Mark, I think you're going to be helping with that in the future. We share their events and things. Our Facebook page has a huge following. Our website has great statistics. And so we also have the Eat, Shop, Play in the Parkland app. And when you become a member, you get an upgraded, really nice listing in the app. It has over 5,000 downloads. And so if you're listening and you don't have a business, here's a great explanation on the app too. So it solves that age-old dilemma of where do you want to go eat, and what does the other person always say when you say, where do you want to go eat?
I don't care. What do you want to go?
And then you say, well, let's go Mexican. And they say,
I want to do that.
Oh, we did that last time.
So you can open up that eat section and then you can start with categories and work your way through where you want to go eat. So you're not going to the same place every time you go out to eat. Mark looks like he's going to say something.
No, this is going to piggyback on what you were saying. You and I were one of many people in attendance at a ribbon cutting and a grand opening at 214 Package in downtown Farmington over the weekend. They were so excited to have the Chamber here. But that's another example of what the Chamber offers in ways of benefits. If you have a big event, a big ceremony or something, you have a group called the Chamber Ambassadors that will show up and really turn an event into a party almost.
Yes, and there are go-to helpers. We're going to be actually also involving them more in some of our member visits as well. Maddie Nicholson with Nicholson Heating and Cooling actually is one of our ambassadors. I know one of your sponsors. We love them.
Need a sponsor bell every time the sponsors are
Ding, ding. I like that.
And Maddie is just so sweet and so cute. We love her. She's been a fantastic help. So the ambassadors, there's also the networking as part of being a business member of the Chamber. In our town, especially, who matters. Yeah. It really does. And the Chamber is a great way to connect with people of influence in our community, whether you're attending the morning mixer or the luncheon. And I tell people all the time, too, a network is not one piece connected to another. It's who they know, as well as not just knowing them, but who all they know as well. And so you may come and it may be a topic like, how to get stopped, what to do when you're stopped by the police. And you're like, well, I don't really care about that. But there's people there that you need to meet and people that need to meet you. And so being intentional about that networking piece, it's face-to-face marketing.
One thing I wanted to point out, I know it's down the road a little bit, but coming up in September, I believe, you are going to be saying thank you to Chamber members.
Yes, we are. And our ambassadors will be bringing them some wonderful treats and honoring them. And we'll be sharing some of that on our Facebook page. And we do appreciate our members. We have over 450 members now. And we could not do the work that we do without their support. We are not funded through the city or we attend city council meetings as representing business, but a lot of people are confused about that. We're not. Yes.
When are we voting for your position again?
Some people probably wish that were the case, but
no,
it's all the power I have, Jason.
It is. You wield it well. But Chamber of Commerce is completely different. You're like, I guess, tax-wise, you're like a charity, we're
a 501c3. 501c6.
Okay.
So we do have a foundation that is a nonprofit that is a 501c3. A 501c6 is a membership organization.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're funded by our members. And through that, we do a lot of work with the schools. We represent business at city council meetings. We also, on the state level, work with the Missouri Chamber Federation legislative agenda. And we've also helped develop one for Southeast Missouri, a legislative agenda, and then we advocate for that.
And I know you're also really excited about the Small Business Development Center opening up in the chamber office.
Yes, we are. It took us, 4 years or so of working to get that accomplished. And we're only the second chamber in the state of Missouri to host a Small Business Development Center in our office.
Cool.
And so Julie Estes started the 1st of February in that position. And what that does is anyone who has an idea to start a business and you're wondering, is this a viable idea? Is this something I can really do? She can help with that. And she has a wealth of reports, and she can do competitive analysis for you on those businesses or your idea, connect you to resources to help you fulfill that. And then also, if your business is struggling and you're wondering, like, what can I do differently to pick up my, get my business going better, she can help with that. If you're thinking of expanding your business and you're like, should I go to another location? Should I expand, and add more employees? Those are things that she can help with in her position. And I want to mention that the services, I'm not supposed to say they're free, but they're at no cost to you and fully confidential. And so it's just a tremendous resource. You can see why we're so excited to bring these services to our region. And we do serve 5 counties with that as well.
So Candy, you're like the face of the chamber, but I want you to mention your staff real quick because I know you're real proud of the girls that are in the office with you.
Yes, I am. I've already talked about Julie Estes as our small business specialist, and Emily Holsey is our young lady who's front and center. She does our marketing and communications. She's our operations assistant. She does a fantastic job. Our newsletter, if you've seen it, is primarily Emily's works on that, and does a fantastic. It takes a lot of time to do that newsletter. It can take up to 3 to 4 hours just to put that newsletter together. Sure. So, and if you want to sign up for the newsletter, by the way, you can do that on our website. You don't have to be a chamber member necessarily to sign up for that. So it will keep you informed on what's going on in the community.
FarmingtonRegionalChamber.com is the website. You can type that in on your social media of choice and find out more information about the Farmington Regional Chamber that way. So much going on. Summer is, I guess, halfway. We've made it past the 4th of July. We have the golf tournament coming up. What's another big event on the not too distant horizon that we want to throw out there before we let you
go? Our next big event will be our annual business conference. This is our second annual business conference, and that will be October the 1st, and that'll be at Mineral Area College. And we will be talking about marketing. The entire focus of the conference is marketing. And we have the president of Missouri Broadcasters Association, Chad Mahoney, will be one of our keynote speakers. We've also got many of our local marketing experts that will be teaching workshops, such as Luke Rousson, Ashley Davis, Danielle Bosler, people in our community who are purchasing marketing, who are working in marketing. And then many of our members who provide those services will also be represented there. So you can connect with them about the strategy of your marketing instead of just kind of throwing money out hoping it works.
And of course, if your marketing plans would include podcasting, we would love to have you be a part of the Parkland podcast.
Man,
absolutely.
He's so smooth. Very, very nice. Fantastic. Candy, so great to see you. Thanks so much for coming to the barn. And thank you for all the support because, you were one of the first people when this announcement was made and we started this little venture. You were one of the first people to get behind and be like, yes, this is what the area area needs.
Yes.
And I can't thank you enough for that, because
You
that
guys are
really helps
filling,
us.
you're filling such a need in our community for news and accurate news. You know, a lot of things get thrown around as rumors and speculation, and we never want to do that. Like, we want to make sure that it's cleared and vetted, and we don't have a lot of sources for that. So I am thankful and grateful and excited about this new venture you guys have.
Thank you, Candy.
Candy Zarcone. That was okay. So we were talking last week. Tracy Lawrence.
Tracy Bird.
In my mind, this whole interview, I'm like, don't call her Candy Zarcone. She got married. Don't call her Candy Zarcone. She got married
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Candy Henti, Executive Director of the Farmington Regional Chamber of Commerce, our guest here on the Parkland Podcast.
Farmington, Missouri, your destination for a perfect weekend getaway. Dine in at one of our quality restaurants or visit one of our surrounding wineries. Farmington offers a variety of parks and other recreational leisure time activities. See some sights, have some fun, and go wherever your heart takes you. Sounds like a lot of fun, so get a room and stay a while. All this and more awaits you just 60 miles south of St. Louis. Discover Farmington today.
Parkland Pharmacy is out to prove that local independent pharmacy is alive and well. We work hard at giving you an excellent experience every time you come to see us. We love what we do, and we would love to take care of you. There's no need to be frustrated with your health care. If you're tired of what your pharmacy is not doing for you, then stop waiting in line and come see us today. We have 6 locations across Southeast Missouri, so Google us to find the store nearest you or visit parklandrx.com. Parkland Pharmacy is a local pharmacy at its finest.
Time now to check sports on the Parkland Podcast. And we told you last episode the softball season was over for the Ducks. My daughter Lucy's softball team in the 8 and under Park Hills Recreational League. I think they're enjoying the coverage that they get each week on the Parkland Podcast. So they've added a single elimination tournament. So the Ducks have one more game coming up on Thursday night.
Go Lucy!
Yay!
Big fans of the Ducks here.
Cardinals getting better. Record time coming off taking 2 of 3 from the Pirates. Just seem to be kind of hovering 2 to 4 games over 500.
I will say this right now, and I hope I don't make any diehard Cardinal fans mad. The Cardinals are being led this year by the young guys, Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson, Mason Wynn, just to name 3. And maybe I'm jumping the gun, but is Nolan Arenado now one of the more overpaid players in baseball?
Based off of what has happened this year, yes.
And last year as well. I know he dealt with injuries, but he needs to step it up. Goldschmidt's showing some signs of getting better. But the veterans need to step it up. Michaelis needs to pitch a lot better than he has been pitching. Helsley has been a godsend this year.
Almost perfect.
Yeah. So we're going to have to win the wild card, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what's up with the Cardinals. Big news with a Mineral Area College basketball alum signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's right. Malavi Leons, who went from MAC, and he won a lot of awards and got some recognition while he played at MAC. Went to Bradley, played 2 years there, did quite well. And now he has signed a 10-day contract with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He needs to go in there, impress them, and hopefully gain a spot on the main roster. So good luck to him.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool to have another former MAC Cardinal in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm also very proud because I know a couple of girls that are on this team. The Mineral Area Elite 15 volleyball team. They are in Las Vegas all this week competing in a national tournament. They defeated Nebraska in like the regional or sectional round. Nebraska was ranked number 1 at the time. If I remember, I talked to one of the moms. I think the Mineral Area Elite team is ranked like 10th out of quite a few teams. They're made up of players from Bonne Terre and Deloge, Fredericktown, Farmington, and a few other communities. But they're in Vegas all this week, and we wish them the best of luck.
Have fun. Enjoy.
And remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And I told one of the moms that we'd have some of the kids out here on the podcast.
That'd be great. Absolutely. We can find out what happened. They can tell us things. Well, maybe they can't. They can't tell us anything.
They can tell us how they did in the tournament and how they did with the slots and at the blackjack table.
Great. Youth gambling on the Parkland podcast. Hey, we've talked about this kind of in passing. A big deal, the Licking Volleyball Camp. And I did a little research. They do these for basketball as well. And there are regional locations all happening throughout the summer. And they do this in St. Louis, in Branson, in Jefferson City, in Arnold. And they're doing it locally. Farmington High School, Farmington Middle School, Mineral Area College, and North County High School Licking Volleyball Camp happening locally July 15th and 16th.
I don't know if she still is involved with it since she retired, but Paula Abishan was a big-time person involved with the Licking Volleyball Camp. And Paula, we just want to send a shout-out. All those years of coaching at Bismarck, you were just wonderful to work with. So.
Very, very helpful.
And now she's a great pickleball player.
Yeah, I bet. Chad Easter, our friend, wanted us to let folks know North County Middle School has a football camp coming up on July 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's going to happen at the middle school football field from 10 to noon each day. Did you ever play football back in the day?
Back in the day, 7th and 8th grade, and then I switched over to basketball, and then I switched over to swimming.
Oh, wow. That's swimming at Eureka.
We were, my senior year was our first year. I was the co-captain of the very first ever Eureka High School swim team. That's a bit of history that can't be repeated. But I'll give a shout out, speaking of football, to my brothers. Both were starting players on the Eureka High School football team. And my brother was actually All-State.
Wow.
He played in the East-West All-Star game that they do every year. Went on to Northwest Missouri State, played 4 years there. He was named to the all-second half of the century team at Northwest Missouri State.
Wow.
And he actually had a couple pro tryouts.
And now, is this the same guy that invented the McGriddle?
That's my other brother. That's the really famous one there. He invented the McGriddle.
And we're not kidding about that. That's totally true, right?
Yeah, that's totally true.
Totally true, yeah.
My mom would say, I have 3 sons and Mark.
Looking ahead to the start of the high school football season, week 1 will be here before you know it. August 30th is when that will happen. Quick look at the locally scheduled contest. Farmington is at North County. That is always the opening game of the year for those two schools, and this year it will be at North County. Central opens up on the road, taking on the Dutchmen of Owensville. St. Clair will be at Potosi to play the Trojans. Fredericktown will travel to Perryville. St. Genevieve will be at St. Vincent, and then Valley Catholic, pretty good road trip week 1 as they will go to Monroe City.
We have some local teams coming off some really good years this past year, so we'll see who the best of the best will be this season.
All right, so that's your check of sports here on the Parkland podcast. Let's talk cool song recommendations, Mark Toti.
One of my favorite parts. Okay, for song, a group that dates back to the late 60s, early 70s, Traffic. The song is John Barleycorn, Must Die.
Oh,
It is a great tune. You will absolutely love it.
This was Traffic with Stevie Winwood?
Yes, he sings on it. He sings on it.
Great.
And then my album, which I brought in, Supertramp Live, has some great songs, all the classic ones like School, You're Right, You're Bloody Well Right, You Got a Bloody Right to Say Hey, This Is Why I Talk for a Living.
Right.
The Logical song, Breakfast in America. But one of my favorite all-time songs is Fool's Overture, and they do a 10 or 12-minute version of this song live on this album. Definitely worth a listen.
All right. right, so I'm going to give you a song. This is
I love this tune.
I've always been fascinated by the song. It's called "I'm Not in Love." It's by the British group 10cc. It was released in 1975. And what is so interesting about this tune, if you've never heard it, what they did was they recorded either 4 people in the band, and they basically recorded themselves going "ah" and then "ah," or just kind of worked their way up the scale. And instead of like instrumentation in the song, it's basically those 4 guys with their voice parts sitting in front of like an audio board, and they're turning them up and down as that song progresses. Very similar technique was used on Billy Joel's "Just the Way You Are," a song that came out a couple years later. But I don't know, I've just always been interested in that song and how that process went.
And if you're going to check out 10cc, that's a great song, but you also want to check out 2 other great tunes from them. One is the Wall Street Shuffle, which is a great tune, and the other one is Dreadlock Holiday. I love both those songs. 10cc.
Excellent. For albums, I'm going to go with "You Can Tune a Piano, But You Can't Tune a Fish" by the great REO Speedwagon. What a great album. "Time for Me to Fly" is a great tune. That's probably the most popular song on there. I always liked "Say You Love Me" or "Say Goodnight." I always thought that was a cool tune too.
Well, I'm going to probably make a whole lot of people mad.
Uh-oh.
I grew up loving REO Speedwagon.
Yeah.
Golden Country, Like You Do.
Yeah.
Riding the Storm Out. But when they came out with this album, Time for Me to Fly was all right, but that marked a transition for REO Speedwagon, where they actually made a boatload of money on Time for Me to Fly. It was their big first sappy love song. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, and I understand the logic behind this, I am sure that they said, well, if one really sappy love song works, let's do more. And they kind of went from being a hard-rocking, good old Midwest Missouri band, and then they turned into a whole lot of Time for Me to Flies and
Keep on Loving You's. Yeah. Although Keep on Loving You has a really good guitar solo in it.
Okay.
I mean, Rick Rath really brings it in.
Gary Richrath, great guitar player, but I'm more of an early Speedwagon.
All right, there you go. Those are your album and song recommendations on the Parkland podcast. Okay, Facebook question of the week. It wasn't really a question. It was more just a post of another bear sighting. This one was on Highway 47 near Bonne Terre. My old buddy, retired Unitech teacher Bruce Pratt, mowing grass for his mom and dad, and saw the bear out of the corner of his eye and whipped out the phone and click, 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 click. Got some great pics. So we had a lot of people like, subscribe. In fact, in the history of all of our posts from the Parkland podcast, the one from Monday has got the most reach, like the most people saw that, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Very cool.
So our winner is, did we write down our winner? Let's see. Our winner is Carla Vasquez. Carla is a liker and a subscriber to the Parkland podcast, and she was one of our commenters as well. And Carla gets some skinny syrup.
Carla works part-time at Farmington Family Dental. Her full-time job is keeping her husband Jimmy on the straight and narrow, and that is hard work.
Well, I can tell she has good teeth from her Facebook profile picture here. So
she's just a wonderful gal.
All right, so Carla gets a skinny syrup courtesy of our friends at Parkland Pharmacy, and we'll have another great question for you, something Facebook shareable that we'll put out next week. So keep an eye on that Facebook page. You know what we need to do, and we need another person here to do this, but I always thought it was cool at the end of Pardon the Interruption. They would have Stat Boy, Tony Reale come on.
Do the errors.
Do the errors and omissions. We need somebody, and maybe I'll get one of my students to do this at some point, sit in here and fact check us and see where we messed up.
That might add another 20 minutes to the show. I don't know.
That's
maybe
true.
Maybe it's better. We don't know.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, though, with this new form of media, I mean, beforehand, you could always be like, oh, I said it, it's gone, it's out, can't get it back. Now people can go back and listen to us and play it over and over again.
Yes.
Like Candy Henti.
Not Candy Zarcone, Candy Henti.
She replay that part over and over again. Oh, man. Next Monday, we're dropping the political extravaganza. Again, that's our Parkland podcast that's going to feature interviews from all the contested races, from the candidates that make it to the Pancakes with the Candidates event happening on Friday in Deloge. So lots coming up on that edition of the Parkland podcast. Also, the week of the Baby Boomers concert, we're going to do our show on that Thursday night, so we can visit with some of the performers that are part of the show, and maybe some of that audio will accidentally sneak its way onto our
How about that?
broadcast. You never know. Very cool. Big midsummer plans coming up. You got anything going on, or any kind of special shout outs you want to give to people, anything like that?
Just want to thank everybody for listening again, watching, tuning in to the Parkland podcast. Please like us. Please share.
Yes.
And if you have
download.
We would love to have you be a part of our experience.
Fantastic. We'll do it again next week, sir.
I'm ready.
All right. That's Mark Toti. I'm Jason Lowry, and this is the Parkland Podcast.